All right. Now you're saying that people ought not be permitted to humiliate other people. That's what you're telling me. Not in a sexual sense, but any situation. I agree with you.
Well, that's usually what the problem is.
That problem? I think all the problems are pretty much that.
Yeah, well, that's the imposition of the value system.
Well, I think that all the problems are that. That's why I talk about a computer-managed society where you don't have to answer to anybody, which is humiliating. I think that if I have to answer to you, if I borrow $10 and I said, well, look, Wednesday or the bank is closed, Lincoln's birthday, and if I have to explain myself, I don't like it, and I don't like you for having to ask me that question. So we have that problem. This isn't true, what I'm saying. I'm just saying that people have problems like that. And the re-examination of humility, the examination of rape. What is rape? Think of anybody know the definition of rape? What is it? I mean the formalist definition. Anybody know it?
It's to impose your will on somebody else without their consent.
Right. And when you're drafted into the Army, what happens there?
Unfortunately, I wasn't drafted.
When the guy comes out of an airplane with a suitcase full of pot, you know what I mean? And then you say, open that case. He says, no, it's against my will. It's his case. He paid for the pot. It's his property. But you're afraid of what he might do with it. But you get paid for what he might do with it. And so your job is to get the guy to open the case against his will. But if you don't find anything in it, all you say is, I'm sorry. But he says, I missed the bus.
No, I usually don't even say that. I just say, okay, you're home free.
And so the point is, you're always, in many instances, we move against another person's will. And I would say that we're going to have to redefine.
Everything in this society is structured against your will.
What's that?
Spirit also.
I would say that,
Torturing, too.
what about
Not
a
just-
verbal sadist who torments people verbally?
So you just turned off.
But the point is that they're not arrested. There are people that make the lives of others miserable by, now I won't say blackmail, but intellectual blackmail. You ever know people like that? And they'll drive them batty, other people. But the rapist, he's just kind alongside of that. But I'm just saying that I just want to put this through the culture and start in another time, in another place, with a different set. And so as we look out the window from our culture, we say the unfortunate past is out there, and their problems are solved by clubs and bludgeon instruments and clubbing other people, and prisons. A prison to me, putting a guy in jail for 20 years, or the electric chair for rape, is a bad deal. It's a cruel deal inflicted by society, by the values of the society upon a person. I'm not excusing the rapist or society. I just said that let's not pick on all those little areas. And if my sister or my wife or my best girlfriend is raped by another person, I feel if I'm raped by somebody, I have been raped. Yeah. I've been raped by a guy.
Oh, he just
Yeah.
grabbed your balls or something.
No. He bent me over and he grabbed my ass when I was 9 years old and he tried to get in. You know what I mean? Okay.
But he
Now,
didn't.
yeah, but that doesn't make any difference.
Oh, it does.
He's fine.
It does.
If he got in, he would have injured me.
Good.
He would have injured me.
Yeah.
All right, the guy that grabs him when very young and says you commit a sin when you do this, you got to believe in God and there's the 10 Commandments, he rapes the mind. And nobody puts him in jail. You're just picking on a fragmented bastard in society.
But, you kind of go over
I just want
No, shut
to, I
up.
want to try to look at these things maybe in a different light. At least bring it up so maybe we can talk about it. I'm not saying that the rapist ought to be permitted to go free. I'm not saying that anybody ought to be permitted to go free. This is what I'd like to do. I'd like to see a society that tries to examine the background of the person and says, well, that person would be inclined to rape under certain conditions, and it'd be more effective for society to have that kind of behavior phased out without burning the guy. And so we have to work on the problem. You know what I mean? Work on the problem. If you come in here with a cold and you're coughing and sneezing, you're infecting other people. But I would say you're a victim and you can't control your sneeze. No more than a guy controls his rape. I know you think he can, but he can't. His decision-making system is based upon there's nobody around, there's a girl here that I desire. A police officer told me a particular story about rape. He said this Negro was black, he was about 23 or 24, and the woman he was raping was about 80. And she was in the grass, and these policemen approached, and somebody called for help. They approached, and the guy was still making it with this woman, and she was screaming and scratching. And he says, the guy said to the police officer, wait till I come. Now, wait. Now, the normal person hangs a sign on it or says, do not disturb. See? Or if you're not going to do anything, say, come back in about 10 minutes or an hour and a half, whatever your program is. But the guy, you can see this guy near an orgasm, this is so desirable, the police don't want to interrupt me, put me in jail after I come. Now that was not unreasonable. It was not unreasonable impressed to this guy in his set. I'm not saying that the police always want to sit back and wait. I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying that it's a sad story, that's all. The whole fucking thing is a sad story. This is what I'm trying to say. Now, are there any other? Fight back. This is all right. You don't think that that rape is equal to people packaging drugs that are utterly useless, or doctors giving you treatments that you really don't need? Well, a lot of doctors, what percentage of the doctors do you think pad their bills to people on welfare? How many do you think? What percentage do you think it is? How many operations that are done are unnecessary? Does anybody know?
Quite a few.
70%. 75. Now wait. Now, what are you picking up the rapists for? I would just put a chain around everybody and close the system down. Now, the whole idea is I just don't see why we pick, because we're conditioned to pick on the poor fragmented individuals that have been injured by this society, by some aspects of society. Yes.
Well,
That's why I couldn't be a
because
social
people
welfare.
become upset about that is because it's immediate physical violence
Yes.
on their person
Yes.
instead of over a subtle,
Right.
drawn-out period of time.
Would you believe this, John? As I walk down the street, the whole society appears to me as an immediate kind of violence. I don't know if you believe
For
that.
you, yes, I do. I do.
Everything is violent.
But there's nothing you can do about the whole thing at this time.
Right.
But if somebody attacks you individually,
I try to protect
you
myself.
can protect
I
yourself.
try.
But some people cannot protect
I know
themselves.
that.
So this is
But I don't think people want to protect themselves.
they don't know
Look at
how.
right now, your insurance rate on everybody in this room is going up.
They don't
Everybody
know
out
how
there
to
on the
protect
street is
themselves,
going
Bob.
up.
It's not a
Because
question of
lawyers
them
and
not wanting
doctors,
to.
no, there's dissenters, they don't care.
Now,
They
I
just
wouldn't
go
say
ahead and pay
that.
the extra $300.
I wouldn't say
Well, you're talking about
They've been so
education for rape?
Yes, among other.
Well, most people can take courses in that could diminish the probability.
Yeah.
But they feel, well, other people get raped, not me. Now, the idea is that there are people that you can't deal with. They come in with a gun and they take what you got, wait, then they kill you because they know you can identify them. And they kill you because society says, if you can be identified, you go to jail. So the guy killed. Society forced them to kill by the value they put on the fact that somebody can walk into a special identification area and look through a book and say, yeah, that's the guy.
Well, that's
So
all
the
based
guy
on
takes
fear.
3 guys take out 4 little girls and they screw them, or 10 girls, they rape them. Now, they know that the girls eventually can identify them, so they shoot them, because they can spend years in jail. So the structure of society induces the shooting. But there are a lot of things that society does that generates, the guy don't give you money if you come and say, I'm hungry, I'm out of work, and I don't want to work. I'm conditioned not to work. You work and you don't mind, give me your money, or some of it, or all of it. Now, the guy usually doesn't hand it over. Now, there's another case I read about, you can do what you want with it, I'm not putting a value on it. This dentist, he was a dental supply, he had a dental supply service. He supplied gold to dentists. And this guy came in with his gun and he says, I want all the gold you got and I want it fast. He says, the combination is 6, 9, 4, 3, 8. He said, what do I give a shit? I'm insured. Take all the fucking gold you want. He says, they'll replace it. He says, here, have a cigar. I don't give a shit. I'll go for one. So the guy got down on the safe and he shot him 25 times in the head. I'm talking about the guy that ran the dental situation. He just took a chance. He said, look, I'm insured. I don't give a shit. Take anything you want. The guy, yeah, that's cool. He bent down and he shot him completely, many, many times. He blew the guy's head off. Now, I think that there's all kinds of contempt all over the place. And the people, if I